Three, two, one, let's go. All right, this message is also brought to you by the 2080 rule. You know what it is. All right, this apple is just representation. This is my breakfast, but this is me, right? And this water right here is you, okay? But imagine this is a jar. All right, so let's get right to the point. All right, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. Basically, whatever history that has happened in the past will happen again. Okay, now, I'm making my points first and then I'm going to back them up. So, a lot of people I notice are imitating a lot of behaviors from other people. And they have no clue or no fraction of a reason why. They just keep doing the same old thing over and over and over again and criticize everybody else. But let's put this in perspective. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you a simple story. Now, if you can apply this story to all facets of your life, you can be rich, you'll be happy, you'll be well balanced, everything will be fine, and your relationships will just be pristine. And you'll have what the definition of heaven on earth is for us today. Now, how can this be so, you may ask? Well, let's start off with a simple story of you. You as a jar, an empty mason glass jar. Okay, now you're happy being a jar. And your foundation is whatever you're sitting on. You could be a jar sitting on the ground, jar sitting on a nightstand, jar sitting on whatever, but it's on a stable platform. It's happy the way it is. It knows who it is. It knows everything about itself. It's very content, very at peace. The jar is empty. The jar does not have a lid, no restrictions. So the environment that is around it can easily blend in with the jar and not affect the jar. Now, the jar has the same properties of a jar. It's made of glass, okay? So along comes a can. I said I was going to use this example, and I'll use a different one. Along comes a can, say like an energy drink, made of aluminum, comes and sits next to the jar. Okay, and then this energy drink is looking at the jar. Look at you. You trying to be like me, huh? The jar is like, no. Energy drink say, yes, you are. And enough of this banter goes back and forth of dialogue. The jar starts to form inadequacies that they never had before. Maybe they feel like they are missing something. So they start filling themselves up with stuff. Now, mind you, they were content, happy, and wholesome without anything inside them. So they start putting fluids inside themselves, different color drinks or whatever. And an energy drink goes on being the energy drink, wherever it is. And jar spends most of his time with this new train of thought or this new seed planted in its garden of fertility of mind that it should be more like the energy drink. And it tries every which way. But the outside of it is still made of glass. And no matter what it puts inside, it never really fills itself up. So the jar constantly is agitated. The foundation of the jar changes, so much so that it falls to the floor and cracks itself. Now it takes time to put itself back together, but it's never really the same because now it has cracks. Now the jar is made of glass. The jar can go through processes, real rigorous processes to make itself whole again. The energy drink, however, is made of aluminum. If this aluminum can, if you don't know the properties of aluminum, if I recycle this aluminum can just as it is, the aluminum integrity of the aluminum will actually be thinner, like those plastic bags that they give you in the store. If they recycle the plastic too many times, it gets weaker. Same thing with the aluminum. So they have to add more plastic or more aluminum to give it more integrity. The jar, on the other hand, has different properties. The glass can be broken glass from other things. It gets melted, and then when it forms a new glob of glass and becomes a jar again, it's just as strong as it was on the first day. So when the jar goes through the rigorous process of becoming a jar again, the healing process, hello, then it becomes a whole new jar again and starts over. The aluminum can, if it's just using its own aluminum, will be weaker the next time. Also, if I put water pure inside the jar and water inside the aluminum can and put them in a freezer, the water has a chance to escape out the top of the jar and not mess with the integrity of the jar because there's no containment. However, the aluminum can, having the lid, stretches out of shape and no longer is the same. So the aluminum can has different properties, has things that make it is restricted, and its own set of principles and properties that it goes by. The jar, once again, is whole, has nothing in it. So it doesn't need to be that aluminum can. Now, if you understood what I said, you can apply those principles to every facet of your life, and every facet of your life is a channel. I don't care if it's your emotions, I don't care if it's relationships, I don't care if it's sex, I don't care if it's food, I don't care if it's anything in your life. It's a channel. Trust me, you tune in every day. And if you're a jar, stop trying to be a couch, a doorknob, a door, some paint, or staying on the floor, or some kind of fabric or a dress or a shoe. Be the jar that you are. And don't drink the Kool-Aid. All right. So this has been your uncanned knowledge for today. Hopefully you employ this knowledge and turn it into wisdom. Have a wonderful weekend.